Thank you.
Mr. Speaker.
Todd Barclay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I always find myself speaking after Mr. Prosser on this bill, or in any bill actually. It never ceases to amaze me how the New Zealand First Party can always manage to focus on the minutiae of any particular piece of legislation, and this is just another case in point. Talking around separatism on a piece of legislation that's fundamental towards actually advancing the prosperity of our wine and spirits industries on a global stage, Mr. Speaker, and representing an electorate which is the home of Pinot Noir, Central Otago Pinot Noir, well, half shared with Jackie Dean from the Waitaki electorate. This is a welcome piece of legislation from many of my constituents because they see this as an opportunity to protect the significant amount of investment, blood, shed and tears that they put into making the product the pristine premium brand that it is on the international stage, Mr. Speaker. And in that regard, I want to acknowledge, like previous speakers have, the tragedy that's taken place in the Kaikoura region, Mr. Speaker, and I'd particularly like to acknowledge my colleague, the MP for Kaikoura, Stuart Smith, who has done a phenomenal job putting his heart and soul into backing his constituents, many of whom are affected by this bill, actually, Mr. Speaker, although it's probably the last thing on their minds at this point in time. But he is, as he mentioned in his speech, he's progressed with this bill through all of its stages prior to him entering into Parliament as well. And I think that the background and the knowledge and the respect that he has within the industry and seeing that shepherd this bill through in its final stages has been a real mark of respect to the work that he's done prior to coming into Parliament as the chair of the Wine Growers Association and as the owner of a winery and a number of wine brands himself, but also being able to translate that into his work on the committee. And I want to acknowledge what he's doing for his constituents now. And as I say, this by no means puts them at rest by any extent, because there has been a rather significant impact on the wine industry as a result of the earthquakes. But I think what it does show is that there's one less thing they have to worry about when normality kicks back in, hopefully in the not too distant future. That is that their brands and their businesses can be protected at least on the global stage, where the brands that they've developed are competing with other brands, envious brands, and in countries where the quality of the products aren't as good as ours. So, Mr. Speaker, it's an honour and a privilege to commend this bill. Thank you.